Hi, my name is Pip and this is my review of the movie Rocketman. I was originally super excited for this movie when I saw the trailer, and then A Star Is Born and Bohemian Rhapsody came out, and then I just was kind of thinking, I don't know if I'm ready for another movie that's kind of the same. But this movie is actually really different. So there are elements of kind of like a musical vibe in the way that they use their lighting. They use the music of Elton to tell the story of his life. And there were even like little flashes of Grease in the way they put together dance numbers, and how they had that out in a kind of fate for the song Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting. The costumes in this movie are incredible. It opens with Elton, who's played by Taron Egerton, coming into what turns out to be a rehab facility, dressed in basically like a flamboyant orange Maleficent outfit, which is just amazing. And the way they've put together the movie, using the songs of Elton to tell his life story, while also having the perspective of him being in rehab and sort of finding his way again, is really, really interesting. It's really well done. And it's actually a really interesting insight into Elton John's life, if even half of this stuff is true, and I suspect that it's quite true. Then his family sucked, except for his grandma, who was awesome. And his relationship with his lyricist, Bernie, is really interesting and incredible. And they're both just so talented, and it amazes me that, you know, one can write lyrics and kind of not really have a tune in their head, and then the other one comes and makes it amazing and incredible with the music. But, you know, it's all about the lyrics, but it's all about the music, but it's amazing. And it just kind of gives you a bit of a look into the fame monster and how difficult it would be to be famous and to have people leeching off you and using you, and oh yeah, no thanks. But yeah, it's a really interesting movie. I definitely recommend you go and see it, especially if you love old school rock music and pop music, and if you like Elton John. It's a really great movie. I would probably give it about like 7.5, 8 out of 10. I mean, it's quite an interesting movie. It's both entertaining and, you know, you don't have to think too hard. So, but I wouldn't call it mindless entertainment. But it's also a really interesting insight into the life of Elton John without being, you know, your standard biopic. Which was a bit more what I found Bohemian Rhapsody was. And while I liked Bohemian Rhapsody, and I also drove home listening to Queen, and after this I drove home listening to Elton John, this is kind of like what I wanted from Bohemian Rhapsody. This was a great movie. Taron Egerton also did an amazing job as Elton. It actually looked really fun to play Elton. I was thinking that the whole time I was watching. But he also brought real depth and emotion to the role as well, and the likeness was uncanny. The costumes were incredible. And there was one line in the movie that I really liked, which was, "You've got to kill the person you were born to be in order to become the person you want to be." And I think that's really interesting, and especially when you look at Elton's life and how he was brought up and his parents and who he became. It's just a really interesting story.